Hello everyone, this is MCon, welcoming you back to another episode of our Dragon Age 2 Let's Play. We're out here in the Chantry of Kirkwall. Just taking a look around, learning some lore and things like that. Nothing particular in this place, so we'll keep going. We've learned about Sebastian Vale, who is hunting down some mercenaries that slew his entire family. Oh, hello, door. Oh, the founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. In -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste, and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Orlessa of Montsemard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the Divine Age began. And the Divine Age would be where we first started counting time, technically. Ish. Well, that's kind of where it's based off of. The Divine Age was the very first 100 years, and after that they'd always name a new age. So that was like something like 900 plus years ago. So, cool. Alright. Locks of the Golden Fool. Quest updated. What? A satirical tome about a deluded brother of the Chantry who sought peace between elves and humans. A condemnation of fanatics in both races. It is favored by radical elves choosing to live in Darktown. Interesting. I don't see how that's a quest, but okay. The History of the Chantry, Chapter 1. The first blight devastated the Tevinter Imperium. Not only had the Darkspawn ravaged the countryside, but Tevinter citizens had to face the fact that their own gods had turned against them. Dumat, the old god once known as the Dragon of Silence, had arisen to silence the world, and despite the frenzied pleas for help, the other old gods did nothing. The people of the Imperium began to question their faith, murdering priests and burning temples to punish their gods for not returning to help. Okay then. In those days, even after the devastation of the First Blight, the Imperium stretched across the known world. Fringed with barbarian tribes, the Imperium was well prepared for invasions and attacks from without. Fitting, then, that the story of its downfall begins from within. The people... Whoa, I lost it. The people of the far northern and eastern reaches of the Imperium rose up against their powerful overlords in rebellion. The Tevinter Magisters summoned demons to put down these small rebellions, leaving corpses to burn as examples to all who would dare revolt. The Imperium began to tear itself apart from within, throngs of angry and disillusioned citizens doing what centuries of opposing armies could not. But the Magisters were confident in their power, and they could not imagine surviving a blight only to be destroyed by their own subjects. Of course not. Even after the blight, Tevinter commanded an army larger than that of any other organized nation in Thedas. But that army was scattered and its morale dwindling. The ruin of Tevinter was such that the Alamari barbarians, who had spread their clans and holds over the wildernesses of the Ferelden Valley at the far southeast edge of the Imperium, saw weakness in their enemy, and, after an age of oppression, embarked on a campaign not only to free their own lands, but to bring down mighty Tevinter as well. The leaders of that blessed campaign were the great barbarian warlord Maferath and his wife Andraste. Their dreams and ambitions would change the world forever. Thank you, Brother Genitivi. Okay, so it sounds like the blight hit after Andraste had escaped. So Andraste escaped her slavery in Tevinter, then made it back to Amaranthine was her home, her city. And after a while in Amaranthine, after the blight finished, oh, hello. Oh, yeah! Okay, so finishing what I was saying, after the blight happened, she and Maferath decided to start their campaign into Tevinter. So, okay, this is the big city map with all the locations. The Chantry, Viscount's Keep, Hightown, Docks, Black Emporium, the Hanged Man, Lowtown, and Gamlin's House. But one of the awesome things about this game, I thought, is that not only do you have daytime locations, but nighttime locations, places you can go at night. And some of those, sometimes it's different. Sometimes you have to meet somebody at a specific time of day, either day or night. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then we've got the world outside of Kirkwall, Sundermount and the Wounded Coast. Sundermount being where we can find those Dalish elves, I think. The ones that were supposed to deliver that thing for Flemeth, too. Okay, so let's go back today. If we were in the Chantry, I guess that means we were in Hightown? I think. We're about to find out. Yes, we were. Alright. Leave area. Where else? Right. Viscount's Keep is where we need to head.
Are you really not afraid of apostates? Not even a little?
Sunshine, I'm a dwarf, in case you missed that detail.
Dwarves aren't completely immune to magic, you know.
No. I meant there are at least 30 people in this town who'd stay out of the shadows.
What?
There are 100 times more cut purses here than in Lowtown.
Oh, you were saying something cool, Varric. I wanted to hear it.
The refugees were keeping to Lowtown.
Uh-oh. I might have misled us. We're in the wrong spot. But I found some loot. Fancy poison ring? Interesting. Okay. Well then, while I'm here, anything interesting over this way? Nothing? Alrighty. Oh, there's a little alley. Cool, this is off the map. Hello. Fancy poison ring. That sounds like a conspiracy if you ask me. Alrighty. Let's try for the right way this time. Yeah, I guess I don't like that map doesn't show those things.
Walk in peace.
I guess that was Hightown Estates. I think. Okay. Let's make our way over. And hang a right. Kirkwall's Hightown. At the height of the Tevinter Imperium's slave trade, Kirkwall's elite prospered beyond dreams of avarice. Hightown was built for the wealthiest slavers, its glitzy mansions rising atop a great wall of rock that borders, on one side, the waking sea. Lowtown cowered on its other side until Kirkwall's slaves rose to plunder and destroy Hightown's riches. Today, Hightown's prominent buildings are the Keep, home to the ruling Viscount, and Viscount, however you pronounce it, whatever, and the Chantry, home to the Grand Cleric and the city's religious center. Both are converted estates that once housed wealthy magisters, rebuilt and converted after the uprising. Thank you, brother Genetivi. Why can I never get that out of my mouth the right way? Brother Genetivi. The Viscount's Way. Hello. 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 Hello.
It's a perfect time for Orlais to invade.
Uh-oh.
For Eldon lost most of her standing army in the struggle against the Blight. If Orlais wants to reclaim that dirty backwater,
Whoa now.
now's the time.
Whoa, that's my original home, man. Watch it. Alright. Let's step on into the Viscount's Keep. See if we can't find Aveline. She might have some good guard work for us to do. Alright. Gather your party. Oh, cool. Well, we can't add Aveline at the moment. So, yes, my party's not full, but it wasn't already. Not much you can do about it.
Messiah, please stop kicking the wall.
Who are you to talk to me like that, you bloody peasant?
The guard who'll throw you out if you kick that wall one more time.
Fair
How
enough.
much longer do I have to wait?
Alright, Hierarchy of the Circle. It is no simple matter safeguarding ordinary men from mages, and mages from themselves. Each circle tower must have some measure of self-government, For it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail, as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You, who will be tasked with the protection of the circle, must be aware of its workings. The first enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course his circle will take. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the first enchanter will be the senior enchanters, a small council of the most trusted and experienced magi in the tower. From this group, the next first enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the enchanters. These are the teachers and mentors of the tower, and you must get to know them in order to keep your finger on the pulse of the circle, for the enchanters will always know what is happening among the children. All those who have passed their harrowing, but have not taken apprentices, are mages. This is where most trouble in a circle lies, in the idleness and inexperience of youth. The untested apprentices are the most numerous denizens of any tower, but they more often pose threats to themselves, due to their lack of training, than to anyone else. Knight Commander Serene of the Chantry Templars, in a letter to his successor.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.
Okay. Alright, let's check over on this side first.
The Viscount must be terribly busy. I've been waiting most of the day.
Yes, so I've heard. That seems to be the general consensus.
I do hope the Viscount remembers to eat supper today.
What? Oh, okay. Hello. It's so nice that these doors are properly labeled. I might never know what they were otherwise. Bottled Scar 534 Exalted. A rare collaboration between human and elven vintners. I didn't know that was a word. The result is a taste that has been called appropriately tense. Nice. Occasionally requested in the Low Town Bazaar, although elves rarely do so openly.
I can't do that.
Oh, but what about Varric?
You want me to do what?
Oh,
I don't think so.
come on. Guess he needs some more skill, more cunning. The Enigma of Kirkwall. The Viscount is suspicious, but the bribe was sufficient to gain access to the restricted section of the archives. The money would have been better spent elsewhere, the archives being almost devoid of Imperium-era records. When the slaves revolted, they hunted magisters and burned the city, at least the parts that could be burned. One account says that the streets were littered with piles of scrolls and books set aflame. Is our quest futile? Did the slaves destroy the answer? As Mafarath's armies toppled the Imperium, they sent 3 magisters and their legions here. They never arrived, but why march here of all places? What were they coming here for? Behind a panel with a curious marking signed, the Band of 3. The Band of 3, I have definitely heard that before. I have heard of the Band of 3, but I can't think from where. Huh. Alright. Good. Oh, we didn't read about Starkhaven, actually. Starkhaven, the largest city in the Free Marches, sits on the bank of the great Menanter River. I remember my visit to the city quite clearly. I was taken up the river by barge, a cumbersome vessel that moved at a stately pace, and disembarked by the city's central square, an impressive space with marble fountains and surrounded by kingly estates. Starkhaven's wealth was truly a sight to behold. A path paved in granite led up to the grandest building I've ever seen. My guide indicated that this was the residence of Starkhaven's ruler, Prince Vale. Interesting. We supped at the table of my guide's closest friend. I was presented with a variety of dishes from the region. One in particular stood out, fish and egg pie, Starkhaven's most famous dish. 3 deboned fish, caught just that day, were cooked in a porcelain vessel with boiled eggs, dried fruit, spices, and thickened cream, all topped with a light crust. Superb. Thank you, Brother Genitivi. Ah, I did it! I said it! Alright, we know about ogres. We learned all the characters. And the art of war. Yep, gotcha, yes. Done, ta-da. Okay. We're up to date there in the codex. The
Good day, Sarah.
Lomarin Accords. Okay, that was the one that we just read about it. The Qunari invasion stuff. 50 years, that's how long it took to the Imperium to drive out the Qunari occupation. But the rest of northern Thedas was not so lucky. Both divines, white and black, declared the exalted marches, and for the only time since the schism of the Chantry, they worked together. So there are two divines. There is the white divine and the black divine. And I don't remember where one or the other resides. But the black divine is led by a man. A revered father, I think? Maybe? Possibly. I think he might be based out of Tevinter. Possibly? And then the white divine is the one that we mostly hear about because she is based out of the Chantry and Orlais, I believe. Anyways, both divines declared exalted marches, and for the only time since the schism of the Chantry, they worked together. A century-long siege resulted with the giant Qunari entrenched in Antiva and Ravane, and all of Thedas throwing armies against them. The war drained the resources of every nation in Thedas, leaving most on the brink of collapse. For the giants, it did not appear to be the damage to their armada or the loss of their soldiers, but rather the terrible toll upon the Ravani population that prompted their retreat. When the third new exalted march had all but massacred the people of Kant-Ar without even chipping the Qunari occupying force, the giants finally withdrew. The treaty that put an official end to the Qunari wars was signed on the politically neutral island of Lomarin off the southern coast of Ravane. 150 years after their assault on the mainland began, the Qunari left our shores. They received the northern archipelago in exchange for cessation of hostilities against all the nations on the accord. Only Tevinter refused to sign, and so the war continues to rage in the Imperium to the present day. Interesting. It's worth noting, however, that the Kingdom of Ravane immediately violated the treaty. Twice. Once when the humans of northern Ravane, nearly all practitioners of the Kun, and therefore by definition Qunari, refused to leave their homes and go in exile to the islands. That again when the Ravane Chantry and nationalist forces, unable to convert its people back to the worship of the Maker, tried a purge by the sword, slaughtering countless unarmed people and burying them in mass graves. It's a fortunate mystery that the leaders in Kant-Ar did not alert their allies in the Northern Passage, or we'd still be fighting the giants now. Huh. Interesting. So the Tevinters are still at war with the Qunari. Wait, did we... No, we didn't go through here yet.
I don't think I can do that.
Oh, key required. Whoops. Okie dokie. So that's been
The Viscount must be
that
terribly
side.
The guard.
Let's see if we can't find Aveline here. I think she's right in here. We've entered a companion's home base. Interesting. Locked.
Not going to happen.
Definitely locked.
Hope the day's treating you well, Sarah.
Huh. Up, Aveline! Hello, Aveline?
Aveline.
Hello, Hawk.
Thought she'd
Been
be
a while.
more
hasn't it?
excited.
What? Oh, right. Sorry. It feels like we just talked. I've been keeping an eye on you. Information is one of the few perks of this job. Watch out for Bartrand. He's a son of a bitch.
Really now?
You know I don't like it when you have people watch me.
Saved me camping on your doorstep. After what we went through to get here, well, you're no child, but I take care of my friends. The places they have me patrolling, I've got time.
Okay.
A person in your position seems like they might learn some profitable things.
You know better than to ask that.
One day you'll be frustrated enough to go for it.
It's like I'm sitting on my hands. There are dangerous people in this city. In fact, I might have a job for you. Let me know if you want to do a favor for Kirkwall.
That sounds excellent.
Otherwise, I'm here if you need me. Maker knows I could use more satisfying work.
Okay.
Seems like Kirkwall suits you.
It has been a challenge. Lots of opportunity, If you're the type the locals want.
Are you?
If you argue enough, you kind of convince yourself.
It's been a year settling in. Are you all right?
You don't need to coddle me. I am where I am. How close I hold my memories is my own business.
Well then.
This must be a very different pace from serving King Cailan.
I love that life. But there's a new king for a new Ferelden. Seems cocksure, but I guess he was there when the Archdemon fell. Can't fault an active hand. It's just one more change, though. The real end for me was Ostagar. You and Carver must have felt something similar. I don't know if that's right to say. I barely knew him.
Death on that scale certainly has a finality to it.
Sometimes I wonder.
Okay.
The Blight is over. You could go back to Lothering.
That wasn't home for me. It was just where the Horde pressed us. It wasn't the first village I saw fall. But you don't get used to people losing everything.
That's true.
It's not how I wanted to say goodbye. I'll say that.
You can't go home again. That's supposed to be about maturity. It's not the same if you don't have the option.
Alright, well, Aveline, tell me about this job.
All right, Aveline. You have something worth doing.
My patrols may be empty walks in the dark, but there's something big coming up, and I could use you. An ambush, probably for a caravan, although I can't find any shipments that match up. Doesn't matter though. Highwaymen waiting for someone to rob. I'm putting a stop to it, my district or not.
Okay.
All right, Aveline. I'll play guard for you.
I knew I could count on you. They're hidden up Sundermount, remote and rough, but we can make good time with a shortcut this side. And no, you can't run off and do it without me. I trust you, but I have to be there.
Well then.
You're acting on behalf of the Guard.
Messiah, please stop kicking the wall.
The way it should be. Take Aveline to find the ambush hiding along the paths of Sundermount. The location of the bandits will only be clear if she is present. Fair enough. And we finished a friend in the guard. Good. Alright, Aveline's back in the party. That's nice.
Kick that wall one more time.
Ooh, we can go through the door. Yes, please. A study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 1. Interesting, they've already got a study of it? While some of my contemporaries dispute whether the Fifth Blight was a true blight or merely a large darkspawn resurgence, the historians will agree that it began in the swamps of the Korkari Wilds on the southeastern border of Ferelden in the year 930 Dragon. King Cailan Theron was swift in responding to the threat, gathering the royal army, every Grey Warden in his country, and sending a call for aid to the Ferelden nobility. The assembled armies laid a trap in the ruins of Ostagar, hoping to crush the force before it reached civilization, but they failed. Darkspawn overran the defenders of Ostagar and decimated the king and his army. They continued their advance into Ferelden unopposed. Only 2 Grey Wardens managed to escape the slaughter, and somehow they came into possession of ancient treaties, which compelled the races of men to join arms against the massing horde. Alright. That is an apt summation of the first game. At least the first half of the first game.
Fine day, Sarah.
Hello. Kirkwall City Guard. It is with pride that I, your Viscount, grant the authority of law and civil enforcement upon the guardsmen of an independent Kirkwall. No more will we defer to the will of foreign troops, or draw a holy order into tasks unbefitting their mandate. These proud men and women will be of the people, and will enforce the laws we have elected for a civil and ordered society. And should the specter of invasion return, the noble guardsmen will conscript from the population, for who better to amass the people's will than the constables of law charged with its inspection? This is a great day, fair Kirkwall, and I am honored to appoint my first guard captain. Long may he serve the will of a free people. From Orlesian legacy, how institutions of the oppressors linger, the speeches of Viscount Michael Lefayel, collected by Philium a Bard. Huh. They still don't let us in here,
I can't
though.
do that.
That's unfortunate. What about in here?
The heart of law in Kirkwall. If I have to say something about it anyway.
Uh-huh. Hello, boys. Oh, here we go.
I suppose I could give that a shot.
Give it a shot, Varric.
Easy.
Engraved armband, amulet, and an injury kit. Thank you. And the last door in the area. Anything useful here? Good day, good day. Alright. Then it looks like we're headed out to Sundermount.
Treating you well, Sirrah?
We've got some business to conduct there, Aveline.
I've been waiting all day.
But that is going to have to wait until next time because we're out of time for this episode. So thank you all very much for coming along with me. And until then, bye all.